Right, good morning and welcome back to the channel. After a little break, some different gloves today. I'll explain what's going on in a minute. And I've got my bag and I'm trying out my new summer gloves, despite the fact that it is about 2 degrees and there's ice on the roads. But I wanted to try these out because I've only just bought them for the summer, and the reason I got the bag is that I've got my other gloves in there just in case, because I think I'm gonna need them. But anyway, let's get going. Loads to talk about today, and I'll see you down the road. Yes, well, good to have you back. It's good to be out on the bike. And already I can feel these are cold. I know they're going to be because they're underneath the sleeves of my jacket, if you know what I mean, rather than over the top, so they're allowing the wind in. But I wanted to just try them out and just make sure that they're the right size, because I chose some small ones, and I think I should have gone for the medium, but I think they'll stretch. I think we'll be alright. But yeah, loads to talk about today, all sorts of different subjects. And I'll explain first why I haven't been around for a little bit. I won't talk about it too much, but I will quickly explain. As you can see, it's lovely and sunny today, really bright, but it's cold. Yes, it's so cold in fact that Milk, who's usually a really... he's out in all weathers, is Malcolm. Excuse me. There's one of the reasons I've not been out. I've had the flu. Anyway, back to the subject. Milk is, he texted me this morning and said, "You coming out?" I went, "Yeah." He said, "Are you sure? It's quite icy up here." I said, "Yeah, I'm going out." And he's just texted me back and said, "I'm going in the car, I'll meet you up there." Now, for Milk to be going in the car rather than on the bike, it's got to be nippy. But he has to start out a bit further north than me, so I'll let him off. Apparently it's still icy up there. It's probably icy in places around here too. But anyway, yeah, the reason I haven't been making videos for that, first of all, I don't think it was the flu, but it was one of these viruses that is going around at the moment. Really knocks you off your feet. I'm generally pretty much immune to that sort of thing. I'm pretty lucky really, I don't get them, but this did knock me back a bit, and I've been coughing. Heard a lot about this 100-day cough thing going on, and I've been coughing virtually non-stop for about 3 weeks, and so making videos wasn't really an option. You wouldn't want to hear me coughing endlessly, would you? Anyway, so much to talk about. Yeah, the other thing I wanted to mention, just before we get onto bikes, and I've got some interesting bike news for you. Not personal, but general. God, these gloves, they're very nice, they're very comfy, but I'm feeling the cold already. I think we're going to have to stop soon. But yes, while we're tucked in behind this vehicle, what was I going on about? It'll come back to me in a minute. Yes, reasons I've been off for, apart from having the flu. I also wanted to mention, in case anybody else out there gets this, SAD. Has anybody heard of SAD? Seasonally affected disorder, where your mood changes. It's sort of, you get the miseries in the winter. Now, I never used to take this seriously at all, to be honest. When I first heard about it, I just thought, oh God, making up another illness for us to have. But that changed quite a lot when I was married for 12 years to a mental health nurse who understood these things, and worked in nursing myself on the periphery of it, and became a little bit more aware of mental health issues. And I tell you what, SAD, seasonally affected disorder, really is a thing. Genuinely is. It's not just that you get a bit miserable because it's a winter. Personally with me, you can get it all year round, by the way. That's the first thing a lot of people don't realise. It's not a winter thing necessarily. You can get it in the summer if it's raining. Yeah, it sounds crazy, doesn't it? I know. But to me, it's lack of sunlight. It's lack of sunlight, without a shadow of a doubt. And when I don't get the sunlight, it really does affect me. And it's not just that I feel a bit miserable. It just saps the energy out of me. So I take a lot of vitamin D to try and combat it, which helps. But with the flu bug as well, it's really taken me down for the last few weeks. And what was interesting, very quickly, I'll get onto bikes in a minute, but very, very quickly, what was interesting is I actually did make a video. And I thought, oh, look, I don't feel like it, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to go out and do it. I'm going to go and make a video and sod it. Just make myself do it. So I did. And I chatted away, as I usually do, and talked about bikes and things. And when I went to edit it and listen to it back, it absolutely shook me. It surprised me so much. My voice was completely different, and you could tell through the way I spoke how down I was. It was quite incredible. And it's the first time I've actually listened to myself back, and it was chalk and cheese. It was so noticeable. So if you think it's just a thing, it's not real. I understand where you're coming from, but honestly, that's almost proof there that this really is a thing. It was quite surprising, actually, quite amazing I could hear it straight away, and somebody else listened to it and they just went, oh my god, you can hear it in your voice. And I went, yeah, you can, it's not just me. So there we go. That's the reason I haven't done a video for a bit. Enough of that. What I have been doing is listening to other channels, and I wanted to talk about it, a couple. First of all, a chap called Glynn Owen. Now, Glynn Owen, as you quite probably guess, is a Welsh gentleman, lovely fella, and he's got a video. Look him up. I'll try and leave a link in the description, but at the very most I'll leave a little I'll leave his name. I'll write the name on the screen. I know I could do that. I don't know about a link, but I know I could do that. Look him up if you like sort of long format videos, nice and relaxing, watching a chap work on his bike. He's absolutely marvellous. Now, what he's into, bike-wise, he's got a couple of the 350 Enfields, a Meteor, but he customises them and does it all himself. And he's not a mechanic as such, I don't think, anyway. But a very skilled guy, and got a very slow sort of delivery, and he takes you through every single part. They're quite long format videos, but if you enjoy that sort of thing, check him out, because he's a lovely guy, very, very nice to listen to. Very, very slow though. It's not but that's for me, that's great, that's fine, and I enjoy listening to him. But if you want to follow some of his projects, particularly if you're into just fiddling with bikes, and if you like 350 Enfields, then you'll particularly absolutely love it. So that's Glynn Owen. The other one that I've been listening to, completely different, it's called MotorInc. That's capital M-O-T-O-R, capital I-N-C, MotorInc, one word. And these are two Indian chaps. It's an Indian channel. They speak in English though, obviously, because I can't speak any Indian languages, and they are absolutely fantastic. Obviously they speak mostly about bikes that are in the Indian market, so again a lot of Royal Enfields, but also what got me onto them originally was they did a test of the Triumphs, the 400 Triumphs. But I found their channel, and I tell you what a great channel it is. MotorInc, just check that one out. What they do is they have a sit down sort of format where they're in a studio and they talk to one another, but they've got a fantastic rapport between themselves. Kartiketa is the one, Kartikeya, I can't say his name, I apologise. One chap, and the other one, Shumi, which I can say. Shumi is he's the main tester. He's been a motorcycle racer in the past. He knows his stuff. He's been a journalist, and they're both, particularly Shumi, really professional journalists. The reason I've got into it, it's been a bit of an eye-opener for me. It really has, and that is how honest they are. They're not afraid to tell you what's wrong with a bike or wrong with a motorcycle industry or a manufacturer. Check them out and you'll see what I mean. But it's really that they've sort of made me rethink a lot of the other stuff that I listen to. I'm not on about the small channels, the guys just like me vlogging as they ride along, but more the testy type channels that test bikes out. It's made me really rethink what I'm listening to and the sort of journalism we get here in the UK, probably in America too, in fact in the West most likely, and how not biased it is, but how lacking in honesty it is, how it's just basically a rolling advert for all the manufacturers. And of course the reason for that, whether it's a big channel like Motorcycle News, one of the major professional channels, but right down to the guys like, if I dare say, I'm Missing the Flyer and people on that sort of level that have got 100,000 sort of subscribers, they very much have got to keep in with manufacturers. They can't afford to slag off a manufacturer's bike because they simply won't be offered one again. Now this is obvious, isn't it? I mean, this is pretty obvious, but if you listen to MotorInc and the way they get stuck into the honesty, now they're not slagging off bikes, but they're just brutally honest about them. They'll just, in passing, without a second thought, say for instance at Royal Enfield don't look after their customers properly in India in certain ways, or at certain times in the past, and they'll say that without fear or favour. They don't seem to care. The honesty is quite startling compared to the sort of stuff that we get in the West. So it's very refreshing, and when they're really good journalists, they speak really well, very interesting to listen to. They've got a great patter between them, and I found it quite refreshing. So check them out and see if you agree with me that and what it makes you feel. Just get round this. What makes it makes you feel about when you go back to tests from some of the UK. Now I'm not picking on Missing and Fly at all. I'm talking about all of them virtually. All of them that do regular testing. With some exceptions. Believe me, my favourites, the ones that I've mentioned in the past, I would not include in this. But most of them, to be honest, they just reel off a load of stats. They say the bike's great in every possible way. It's wonderful. And it's just the same. Every bike is perfect. And that simply can't be true. There's no opinions. People are afraid to say their opinions, aren't they, on most of these tests? And they must have them. But it's just refreshing when you hear a pair that say it how it is. One example is that they do the new Himalayan, the 450 Himalayan. And rather than just extol its virtues from beginning to end, they're honest about it. And there are some criticisms. They also did a test on, what bike was it now? Yeah, they did the 400 Triumphs, but they also did the Super Meteor, the Royal Enfield Super Meteor. And they were brutal. They just said that basically not suitable for Indian roads because the rear suspension is so poor. Now, you just don't hear that sort of thing from any of the UK testers, do you? You just don't hear it. But they're not nasty about it, they're not bitchy about it, it's just very matter of fact, very honest, and very refreshing. So check those two out and tell me in the comments what you think. Do you think that we're fed? If you listen to a few of these videos from these two guys, MotorInc, it really does make you realise, it gives you a new perspective on most of the stuff that we hear in the UK, and how drab it is, and how little criticism there is of anything, how it's all very sanitised. It really does. So anyway, there we go. We're not going to the cafe today, not this one. We're going on to Tony's, which is on the left here, because the cafe's closed on a Monday. So that's all from me for now. I will be back very soon. I've managed to survive with these summer gloves on, but I tell you what, I can feel it in my fingers. They are gold. So I might get the other gloves out and wear the others on the way back, I think. Oh, that's good, I've just stalled it. So there we go. That's all from me. Thanks for listening. I'll be back again. I might do one on the way back if I'm in the mood. There's Steve's Sprint that I rode last summer. That's all from me. Thanks very much for listening. Sorry I've been away for a bit, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye for now.